Alright, what's going on, guys? Try back again. Here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a video talking about the UFC, talking about George St-Pierre and Anderson Silva. So it's been about 2 to 3 years now, maybe 4, that pretty much most of us have wanted to see GSP face Anderson Silva. Now, the UFC always said, there's a lot of fights for both guys and yada, 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 and they've got to beat this guy and that guy and that guy and this guy before it makes sense for them to do so. Well, right after the Carlos Condit fight, or right before it actually, what essentially was supposed to happen was if GSP beat Carlos Condit, Dana White said that it's confirmed that he would be facing Anderson Silva. Now, when he was asked about that after the match, GSP kind of said, well, I have to talk to my trainers, and I haven't really thought about it yet, and yada, 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 and that, they'd see what happens next. And essentially now we find out that GSP is scheduled to fight Nick Diaz. So in Montreal at UFC 158. So what can be made of this? Well, I think it's pretty simple. I think the situation is pretty simple and pretty clear to see for anybody. It's that GSP does not want to fight Anderson Silva, and he probably never will. That's the way it is, I think. I mean, if you think about it, they've been trying to do it all this time. Anderson says, yep, sure, I'll do it. He even goes to GSP's last fight to watch and everything. And, it was a war against Carlos, and a lot of people say, well, it's right after the fight. Maybe he'll feel different later on. And now we find out this fight's announced. I don't think he's felt different later on. I don't think it's changed anything. Maybe his trainers have said, no, George, you're really great, but no, you're not going to fight Anderson. Maybe he feels like the moving up in weight would take too long or be too difficult, and maybe he's too short, he thinks. I don't know what the situation is, but I think it's pretty obvious that at this point we can probably conclude it's probably never going to happen. It's probably never going to happen. I'd say the chances at this point are like 5 to 10%. Because how long they've been talking about the fact that they said it was gonna happen after the Carlos fight, and now we find out Nick Diaz is fighting GSP. It's probably not going to happen. That does leave some questions, though, and that is, first off, who's Anderson going to fight? I mean, he could fight one of the guys at 185, like Weidman or maybe one of the other guys, but honestly, it's just a type of fight that, we all know Anderson's probably going to stomp whoever it is unless he all of a sudden just gets old and needs to retire out of nowhere like Fedor kind of did. Not entirely, but kind of, in the Verdum fight. He just got old all of a sudden and just couldn't win for a while. So something like that could happen, but it won't be as a result of his opponent being good. It'll be as a result of Anderson's skills declining. So GSP fights Nick Diaz is a good fight. It'll be an exciting fight, but it does kind of suck that we're not going to see GSP against Anderson because that's a fight that everybody wants to see. So it sounds like that's canceled. I mean, there's a possibility they could say, well, after Nick Diaz, then in the summertime, then we'll see GSP fight Anderson. I still won't believe it again because I don't think GSP wants to do it. That's all there is to it. I think probably we'll end up seeing Anderson Silva against John Jones eventually at some point. I think that's probably Anderson and John. That's probably the biggest fight the UFC could put on, probably. And it'd be great. I mean, if we can't get GSP against Anderson, let's do Anderson against John Jones for sure. Let's see it happen. Now, Jones has got 2 fights lined up already, though. He's got Chael Sonnen, obviously, which has to happen because the Ultimate Fighter's got money invested in it. And then after that, it's supposed to be Gustafsson's supposed to face Jones. So that's a good fight because he hasn't fought him yet. And then maybe after that, Anderson will fight. But it's kind of funny that Anderson doesn't really have any decent opponents. I mean, he could fight Bisping, I guess. All the guys that Anderson could fight at his weight are just like nothing. It's like obvious that Anderson will beat him without even thinking about it. It's like, what? Bisping? Of course Anderson will beat him. Why? Oh, yeah, of course he'll beat him. It's just like there's nobody, really. So if GSP's not going to do it, maybe Anderson will move up to 205, take some more fights just to fill time and to stay active, and we'll take it from there. But it really sucks that they were not able to put it together because we could have seen GSP against Diaz after this fight. And it's kind of a downer, but maybe after Gustafsson, or if Anderson comes out and says, I need to fight, I want to fight, after the Chael Sonnen fight, they'll just cancel that and they'll put Anderson Silva against John Jones. That'd be cool too. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. Some guys in the comments of my last videos where I was talking about this matchup, they said right off the bat, and I think they were right, that they're like, it's not going to happen. So the fight won't happen. GSP won't fight Anderson. And I think that you guys are right. I don't think it's ever going to happen at this point because they're both getting old. Sooner or later, one of them's going to lose. They can't stay undefeated forever, and it's probably never going to happen. Anyway, that's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think about the topic. So please subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you for the next one. This is Trev saying peace.